Good morning, happy Thursday. Today I pulled this card from the Wild and Feminine Sacred deck, Curandera Healing. She sounds Latin American, and I'm going to show that picture again. How beautiful is that picture that just when them touching each other's hands, there looks like there's that sharing of energy. So let me put that on the bottom so we don't get that again. Okay, so the reading for this, the opposite of healing is woundedness. I touch my own skin and it tells me that before there was any harm, there was miracle. I'm not sure who Adrienne Marie Brown is. Curandera comes from a long line of medicine women. She is the archetypal healer who knows just the right medicine to move body and soul back into alignment. When you draw this card, know that there's healing in some form or another, whether to avail upon yourself or to transmit to another. Traditional healers throughout Latin America understand that illness comes when you lose connection to your holy essence. Or, as we had spoken about earlier, I think it was earlier this week, the connectedness to the universe, that we are actually already amazing and holy and valued, equal as everything on this planet. Traditional healers throughout Latin America understand that illness comes when you lose your connection to your holy essence. And some would say even when we lose connection to the actual physical earth. Curanderismo began with the Aztec, Mayan, and Incan tribes, and it's based on the religious belief of harmony with nature, spirit, and self. I like that. Yoga talks about yoking and harmony within body, mind, spirit, and this adds one more level with nature. I really like that. Curandera recognizes the soul's enlivening presence inside the body. She knows the unimpeded access to the inextinguishable life of the spirit is curative. And curanderismo, the thrust towards wholeness relies on integrating the mundane and the sacred, the broken and the unbreakable. And I feel like in the wheel of life, we kind of need to have a bit of both, whether we like it or not. Curandera asks you to look beneath the surface and see your ailments as opportunities to open up to something in your heart that has been locked away. She teaches that every ache has a story and that has to be seen, heard, and understood before it can be mended. A body in distress reflects a soul in longing. When your vigor wanes or some vital aspect of your soul feels withered, it's time to reorient towards the animating forces that rally in the wings behind all the healing. Sorry, I'm still not getting my voice back. Commit to living la vida verdade, the true life. Anything else takes a toll physically and psychically. Through the lens of a holistic healing, a wound is meant to be worked through. Once it has fulfilled its purpose and been resolved, it can serve as a signpost that you're on your way home. But avoid getting bound up by an identity of being broken. And this is something that drives me nuts. We live in a culture where for some reason, some people who are victims or broken get more attention and therefore it feeds into that. And they don't actually want to be healed or move forward. And I have this discussion with friends often. And it can be emotionally draining to have these people in your life. You may find yourself at odds with nurturing wellness because it challenges a long-harbored belief in your fragility. Call on your soul sense, says Curandera, which does not take kindly to stagnation. Don't become more invested in nursing your wounds than actually healing them. And I feel like social media has given us this platform for people to just share victimness or brokenness more than happiness or gratitude or wholeness. That seems as bragging. Give your allegiance to wholeness and let your gusto circulate freely. This is the true medicine. To master healing, practice healing. I love that, and I think I will be sharing that later today with some other friends who might need to hear that. So we're going to start lying down. I had a request for some slow movement, and we talk about the slow movement. It comes up in cooking, in home decor, in travel. I think we talked about this the other day. So imagine we're doing a slow movement today in some of our poses. Because we got a goddess of sort, I thought we could do goddess in different variations, seated and lying down. We could do it dissected, but there will be a lot of floor work. Before we get to the floor though, as I pick cat hair off me, let's come into seated and just take your arms into goddess for a moment. Flexed, Palms, arms in line with your shoulders, nice and wide. And we're gonna stay here for a moment. This is cactus, but we're gonna call it seated goddess. We're gonna inhale, feel the air rise through the breath, through the fingertips, but don't rise your hands, and exhale, ground yourself. Inhale, and exhale, ground yourself. Inhale, exhale, ground yourself. Now let's add a little bit more movement, just to wake up the upper part of the body before we get into other movement. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. One more time. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down, and then come into closed and down in heart center. Now let's see if we can put that one. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale into heart center. Inhale up, exhale into goddess. Inhale up, make the triangle above you, come back into goddess and heart center. I'm gonna drop left ear, left shoulder, center, right ear, right shoulder, center, left ear, left shoulder. And we get, oh, there, I got a nice crack. Right ear, right shoulder. I get a lot of requests for neck and shoulder work, so then I worry, am I doing too much of that if that bores you? So one thing I do often if I know my neck is jammed and not feeling quite right, we're looking for symmetry in the body. I might take my left ear, left shoulder, and just pause. And guess what? Eventually, usually on my right side, it cracks. I think it's because I sleep on my left side, so I must jam that. Inhale up, right ear, right shoulder. Up, left ear, left shoulder. Up, right ear, right shoulder. And then center. Let's come to our mat in preparation for some beautiful work on the floor. I call this the gift to our body. I'm going to bring knees to chest immediately. That feels so good. And your choice, stay still or rocking side to side. And then start to stir those legs, because we're going to keep visiting the pose of goddess. Slowly churning. Now take them wide, and we don't usually start this way, but let's start this way. Let's break our habits. And as you breathe out, excuse me, I can feel the weight of the world pulling my shoulders to the mat. My knees fall wider, my ankles are dangling initially. Now take those feet together, recline cobbler. First, we'll just rest our hands on our belly or our solar plexus. And checking in with your body. Does the body feel comfortable opening and relaxing? Maybe today you're going to give yourself some support. I'm going to take those blocks, support my knees, arms soft. I'm going to keep them low 45, knuckles heavy to the floor, fingers curled. And notice all the corners of your body. What does it feel like when they struggle to surrender? Is it your mind that's also struggling to surrender? I press my big toe pads into each other and line up all the other toes. Feel the sensation of your own skin on skin. Pressing your soles together. Do you feel the bone and the flesh? The texture of the air or the temperature of the air on your skin? And each breath out, I'm attempting to let go of a little bit more control of my physical form through my mental form. And I'm looking for those corners of my body that don't want to let go. That's where the work is going to go today. So the verb, we treat letting go as an actual action or verb, but it's also a sensation. And I notice it happens sometimes if you can tune into your body. You start to notice, where's the knot that's letting go? Where's gravity pushing down the shoulder that's risen too high? Where's gravity letting your hips fall to symmetry? We're going to take 2 more breaths inside your head in this pose of nothingness. And if this hurts your lower back, you can always keep your knees closed. So now we're going to let's take our right hand on our abdomen, left hand on our heart. We don't talk about setting an intention nearly enough. And setting an intention means that I am energetically gifting this class and my effort and energy exerted to somebody in love. And who in love do I want to give my work and my effort and my energy to? Obviously it's to yourself, but say you had to pick somebody else who's hurting right now. And if for a moment you're pushing aside all the things that take your attention, dizzy and busy up your mind, and you're giving them your love, light, and attention through this physical practice. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, let the body get heavier and settle further. Imagining that they are holding a sphere of heavy, dark, just heaviness. And in your mind, as you breathe in and out through the nose, your heart opens so that when you take a hold of this heaviness from them, it lets you be okay. For a moment, you hold their heavy problem. Just for a moment, you're going to hold it for them. And it's a warm sphere, so maybe you are rubbing some of your light around that sphere. And their shoulders soften because they're not carrying this. Just for a moment, they are not carrying this. Just keep breathing in and out through the nose, letting the body go, feeling the heat emanate from your hand, on your belly, in your heart. Because it's just like love, there isn't a finite amount. There's enough so that you can support your friend and still be okay. One more breath. And hopefully by this point you felt some letting go sensations in the pelvis, the hips, lower back, shoulders. And then release your arms back to low 45. And we'll do 3 breaths at our head with that same sensation of heaviness and letting go. Gravity is taking your flesh and bones to the mat, liberating any tension in your chest and your shoulders. Heart is nice and wide open. And then from here, you can take those arms more into a T. Excuse me, you can keep them spread like a T, nails spread, nails anchor. Or coming into that pose of goddess, your arms bend at cactus. Nice and open. Everything is open. And this is probably the most vulnerable position any animal could be in at any point. Let's take 3 breaths here in your head and your heart in this open, vulnerable position. The earth grounding you and cradling you at the same time. 5 breaths in your head, starting now. One more breath. Close the legs. Oh, I don't know about you, but that felt very heavy. And now instead of wide open thighs, you're going to walk the feet to the outside of the mat and the knees are going to lean in towards each other. This is like the least flattering position. Take a moment. My thighs are aligned, so it's almost like a zipper. And let's take 3 more breaths, arms to a T. Letting your hips adjust to this inward rotation instead of outward rotation. And we're closing ourselves back into ourselves through our thighs. And now in your mind's eye, imagine that sphere of heavy, 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 but light, luminous light you were holding for your friend. You can slowly give it back to them, but maybe they'll notice that now it's bright and positive light, like a sunshine. It's not heavy darkness. And just because you helped them for a moment, just a moment, they were able to shine within. And then back to neutral. Let's walk our feet into constructive rest pose. I bring my bum closer to my heels. Arms low 45. Soles of the feet pressing into the mat. Lower belly engages. Arms back into cactus. Now we're in another form of goddess. 3 breaths inside your head. Now, let's take one knee to chest and the other no hands. Oh, that's killing my lower back. So I'm gonna rock a little side to side. Hands free little boat. Oh, and then extend my legs to the ceiling. Oh my gosh. I think we were in the other pose for too long. So, I'm just gonna rock a little hip to hip, letting my weight and the hardness of the floor work together to help my back. We'll do this for a few breaths. Think of it as the earth is massaging your lower back. And I don't know about you, but as a woman, my whole life, my lower back has been an indicator of where I am in my menstrual cycle, if I've done too much physical work for somebody, if I've done not enough work and I've been sitting, my lower back tells me. So you can continue side to side, or you can do a slow churning. Now I'm going to softly start to bend my knees as I'm doing this, putting less strain on my back. And finally, little boat, but making a circle. My knees are bent. I'm going to take my knees to the floor on the left, double leg spinal twist. Right arm is low by your side. And if you're really tight today, maybe you put a block between those knees. Excuse me. Back to center. Little boat. Help yourself. I always like to swing my hips to the left. Knees stacked to the right. Left arm low by your side. Double leg spinal twist. Let's take 2 breaths in our head. Help yourself come back to center. Excuse me, little boat. I'm going to get rid of this block and drop right leg to chest. Left leg's going to stay bent, so it's kind of half of a constructive rest. Pressing my lower back into the floor. Let's take 2 breaths. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale. And on this exhale, slide the foot straight. And you might point and flex here if it feels good. And we'll save it for 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Left hand takes right knee over. Single leg spinal twist. Keeping that right arm grounded, palm up, arm extended. Back to center, back to constructive rest, 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now draw left thigh in. You're in constructive rest, half of it. And you're combined with a single leg wind relieving pose. 3 breaths. Slowly slide right leg straight. Point and flex. Right hand's going to take left knee over, single leg spinal twist. Back to center. Back to constructive rest. Knees to chest, 2 breaths, maybe rocking side to side. And then slowly help yourself roll onto your side. I'm going onto my left side, curl up like a ball. Your arm is going to be your pillow as you relax for 2 breaths. And help yourself up. And let's come into seated. Where did the time go? Some of you asked for a slowed down practice, and look what happened. So hands on our knees. Because we're sort of focusing on goddess and lower back, let's do something for our lower back first. So I'm going to hinge forward, tiny stretch, and then exhale back to neutral. And I'm holding my knees because eventually it will translate into a cat-cow. Hinge forward. That feels really good. And then back. Sometimes if I'm seated or on an airplane and my back is killing me, I do this forward stretch, and I might take my hands in front of me. You might open your knees a little and try to fold between the knees. So forward, nice stretch of the lower back. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Let's go forward one more time and hold it as long as you can. Oh my gosh. So can you take a few breaths there? And in my exhale, I'm visualizing my tailbone and sits bones rooting into the earth like actual tree roots. And then slowly coming upright. That feels good. Okay, tiny cat-cow, hands on your knees, chest forward, hollow out. Forward, hollow out. And in the hollowing out, I like to hold the knees and kind of hang here. I'm stretching the upper back and the lower back. And coming back to neutral, we'll switch our legs. Hands into cactus, seated goddess. Flex those hands, reaching up. Exhale to neutral, and then down one more time. So in our seated goddess, I could also come into bound angle and then bring my arms up. I don't know if you find this. As soon as I put my feet into bound angle, it's very grounding. As soon as I lift my arms into cactus, everything wants to come up like this. I feel like doing it on the floor is a lot easier. So you can keep your hands in cactus, your legs in bound angle, or move your legs back to Sukhasana, cross-legged. And how many breaths can we stay comfortable? Let's try 5. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. This does not feel natural. Oh, I have to extend my legs. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then release your arms. How tiring was that? Now we're going to do that same action of inhale, exhale, forward fold, up and down. Your choice though. My legs are stuck out in Dandasana, staff pose, or you could have them in Sukhasana. I'm going to keep them out for this. Hands on my thighs. You could do this if you want more, but I feel like that's tiring. So hands on my thighs, inhale, exhale, slide forward. Oh yeah, that feels good in my lower back. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And I don't know about you, my lower back is killing me. I hope it's not from all of our goddess work. I'm going to do a final diamond. Feet are together. I'm just going to hinge a little. Elbows press into inner knees. Take a big breath here. And slowly come out. Whew. I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm more tired from our gentle classes than our more vigorous classes. We're going to do a reading today from Richard Wagame's Embers, Ojibwe Meditation. Oh, I like this. Okay. I'll do 2 little readings. My gauge each day in all things is simply this. Was what I'm choosing to think, do, or say moving me closer to the Creator or the earth or the environment or nature or further away? For this question, I'm immensely thankful. It saves me a lot of backtracking, worry lines, frustration, angst, and apologizing. Today and every day, I give thanks for my ability to exercise the power of choice, even when I've chosen wrong. So I really love the look of this. I almost feel like I need to copy it and frame it. Life is sometimes hard. There are challenges, there are difficulties, there is pain. As a younger man, I sought to avoid pain and difficulty and only cause myself more of the same. And that would be self-medication through alcohol, drugs, avoidance. These days, I choose to face life head on, and I have become a comet. I arc across the sky of my life, and the hard times are the friction that shaves off the worn and tired bits. The more I travel head on, the more I am shaped, and the things that no longer work or unnecessarily drop away. It's a good way to travel. I believe eventually I will wear away all resistance until all that's left of me is light. Thank you so much for your effort and your commitment and your dedication to your practice in our community. The good in me sees the good in you. Namaste.